Quest was to make the great American Pinot Noir and to make a world-class Pinot Noir. Quality has always driven everything. And I felt if I was going to make Pinot Noir, then by gosh, it better be as good as Burgundy and hopefully better. So I studied a lot, talked to a lot of people. We tried a lot of experimentations, many different things in terms of winemaking, grape growing, all of it. Went up to Oregon, tasted a lot of wines, and looked at a lot of vineyards, and began to understand that this climate and the soils here was really something unique.
It's hard to imagine now that in the 50s, 60s, even 70s, it was widely believed that the only place to grow good Pinot Noir in the whole world was Burgundy. Those were the wines that we were trying, and what we were disappointed in was the consistency of their quality. So we decided to do a blend of vineyards instead of single vineyard wine, because Burgundy only did single vineyard wine. And when you put all of your fruit from one vineyard together and that's it, you are going to have inconsistency vintage to vintage. So we decided that someday, when we had our own winery and vineyards, we would have more than one vineyard at different elevations with different clones and rootstocks. And our main product, our flagship wine, would be a blend of vineyards, thinking that we would get more consistent quality vintage to vintage that way, and it has in fact proven to be true. I came out and became a harvest intern in the winery. Everything we did was by hand. We hand sorted on a sorting line all of the grapes, which was an unusual thing to do in 1990 for any winery. And we did all the punching down by hand. When it came time to put the wine in bottle, we hand bottled, hand corked, hand labeled everything. Very labor intensive, but it was a great learning experience, and every year thereafter we continued to do it. We did not actually hire an employee of our own until 1998. Our first vintage was the 1990 vintage. And we were talking with winemakers in Oregon, and they all said that when we got ready to sell that wine, we would be selling most of it, almost all of it, 95% or more of it in Oregon, because there wasn't a market for Oregon Pinot Noir anyplace else. We had tasted enough of the great Burgundies to know that we had really something special in the bottle. And so, against the advice of everyone, we decided that we would bring our Pinot Noir to a national market. When we tasted the wine, we knew that it should have a national, perhaps even an international following. We went to New York, to Boston, to DC, to Chicago, to Minneapolis, and we ended up selling all but, well, more than 95% of our wine outside of the state. When we bought Château de la Crée last April, we were very excited because our love of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay started in Burgundy, but we never thought we would ever be able to grow wine there.
Even though Château de la Crée goes back to 1431, we've got a couple hundred years on most Burgundy producers with our Château de la Crée, because it's located in Santenay, and Santenay was the place where the Dukes of Burgundy liked to hang out.
To stand in these vineyards that have existed for so many hundreds of years, and you just feel such a presence and such a history.